The rigidly disengaged family, some would describe this family as like a military boot camp, where there's the authority who gives out the rules and forces them. And so the rules are clear and everybody just feels like a boot camp, but nobody feels connected in the family. And one way to look at this and understand it is the priority in the parent's mind is to get the children to obey. The priority is not about, let's meet their needs, let's make sure that they're understood. Obedience becomes more important than that. And so what is important to understand is there's healthy ways to get obedience, but there's unhealthy ways. And what this family does is gets it out of balance and has unhealthy ways of getting obedience. And the emphasis is on discipline. It's not on nurturing the child, understanding the child, connecting to the child. It's all about the children need to know the rules and that I'm the boss and what I think, and they need to learn to obey. And that is a rigidly disengaged family. And so for a lot of children growing up in that family, they just can't wait to leave home and get away from all of the rules. And many of them, because they feel no connection inside the family, it's rather cold, they look for connection outside and get involved in their peer groups, and that peer pressure becomes a big thing for them. The second is the chaotically disengaged family. And this is a family that's basically defined by the address. There's no structure, there's no connection. Home is just where you eat and sleep. You don't really connect with anybody there. It's just like a hotel where you pop in and eat and sleep and then basically live an individual life outside of that. And so this style of family, some have referred to it as people are isolated islands within the family system. The family might have some special times together, but they are very rare. It is not something that is common at all. So those are the disengaged types of families, and many of you grew up in that. The challenges that you will have in recovery is learning how to connect in healthy ways, since you've never really connected. So attachment. You also may struggle with ODD, oppositional defiance disorder. You're so sick of that military leader, mom or dad, that anybody that kind of acts like they're the boss and they're giving out rules, you just react to and want to dig in your heels and rebel. You also might have some false guilt because of all the different rules, some of which made sense, some of which didn't, but you still feel guilty if you broke the rules, that even the ones that didn't make sense. And so you carry a lot of false guilt. Secondly, because everybody's disengaged, you often don't know what a healthy bubble looks like because you've never had anybody in your bubble. And so now it's going to be important for you to learn healthy boundaries, what it is to let people in, how close to let them in, or to let them in at all. And so those are going to be some of the challenges that you face as you grow in your life. Now I want to come to the Enmeshed families, and I want to spend the rest of the time here because I think it's an important one to understand. So rigidly enmeshed. This is a family that appears to be very close. They do everything together. In fact, they do so much together that people can even finish each other's sentences. That's how well they seem to know each other. And this type of family often uses their closeness because they do everything together as a point of pride. And they look down on families that don't do everything together. The key is this: they may appear to be close, but they're not really. And we'll explain that in a little bit. The next thing is there's a lot of control by the leader. A lot of that is not spoken control. It is just subtle, and the children sense it. And so as a result of that, people in the family, the children, often feel smothered. Often feel they can't do anything on their own, and somebody, excuse me, somebody's always watching over them. And so there's a controlled environment feeling. And then they begin, as they back away, to realize everybody plays a role in this family. Everything has its place. And so they realize, wow, there is a lot of control, even though it's not overt, it's just felt. And then if they try to break away from this family, it is very difficult. And they will be seen as being disloyal. They will be seen as being against their family, and they will get usually a lot of opposition. So that is the third one. Fourth one is the chaotically enmeshed. And this one is just, there's an emotional connection within some of the family members, but there's not a bunch of order or organization within the family system. And so two things can happen. The kids kind of raise themselves because there's so much chaos, or the kids raise each other. And so that's where the connection is. Outside of that, there's not organization, and so what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows? Anybody's guess, because there doesn't seem to be clear leadership within this family.